explains why I thought of my great-grandfather with his wad of chewing tobacco and his little notepad.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Basic AF episode 82. Show notes for this episode can be found at basicafshow.com/82. In this episode, we're going to be previewing all the new stuff coming from Apple this week and also going analog just a bit, talk about some field notes, and we've got some other stuff lined up for you as well. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Tom Anderson here, joined as always, except for last show.
Not always.
Not always, almost always. Jeff Battersby. Jeff, good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you too, Tommy.
Been a minute.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I missed our good friend, Mr. Norby. Yeah, that was disappointing, but we had actually really interesting situation. In fact, maybe we could post her GoFundMe on our website. Had a bartender that works at the bar had her entire apartment building burned down.
Jeez, yeah, that's no good.
Yeah, right. Lost 2 cats. She fortunately got out okay, but. Anyway, she needed coverage when we were supposed to record last week. So I did a little coverage there, but I will. Yeah, we can post that. We can post that GoFundMe. So
sure, yeah,
somebody, because welcome to America, where you need GoFundMe to do just about anything.
Well, it's nice that it's there. Like,
yeah,
think about 20, 30 years ago, and it's even worse.
Well,
didn't have those.
Then the neighbors took care of you. It was one of those things.
Well, now you just have more neighbors, although you don't really know them. Some of them. Right? Your friends on the internet.
Correct.
Yes. Speaking of friends on the internet, I want to thank Nate Gorby again for coming on last episode. Really good discussion. Second half of that episode on the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which he has used for just about a year now. You and I have talked about those a good bit.
Yeah.
Here and there. I mean, we don't focus on Meta stuff necessarily, but it was good to have him on who's actually had them, hear kind of the pros and the cons. And he's a big fan of the concept, and he's really looking forward to Apple having something like that because of, it's Meta. So, and he said that himself. But so that's a good episode. Go check that out. And
I was sorry I missed that conversation. It really was. It was
fun.
I listened to it myself, which I do, both to make sure that there's nothing goofy in it, and then I listen to it after we post it, just so we get one more download. I had things I would have said. I definitely would have had some conversation pieces there. So I'm sorry I missed Nate. So, sorry, Nate. Wasn't because of you. I promise.
That's right. He'll be coming back on at some point. So
cool. Yeah, very good.
You can touch on it then. And then also real quick, Bill McLean, who's been on our show several times, offered me the opportunity to sit in on his podcast, Press Pause. And so we did that about a month ago. It was a lot of fun. We got a little nerdier on there with productivity stuff than we tend to do here, which was fun. Bill's big into that as I am. And so we went down quite a few rabbit holes. We talked about craft and the Apple Notes and Obsidian. And is there a perfect productivity note-taking app? The answer is no. But there are some that are really good. And so we got into that. And then he kind of busted my balls a little bit about my notification badges on my phone.
As if I haven't ever done that.
Well, yeah, you've done that too, and I'll repeat it again. They're just red circles with numbers on them. They don't mean a thing.
Right.
Yeah, you're overly sensitive types to badges. Don't need no stinking badges.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah, but go check that out. We'll link that in the show notes too. So thanks again to Bill for that, and appreciate it. Look forward to maybe doing that again sometime soon too.
Very cool.
All right. So, as we record this, it is Saturday, February 28th.
February,
and into March. We've got some nice weather coming too, which is good. We're mid-60s today, Jeff. That's nice. Down here in Virginia.
Going to be up to 50 here in New York.
You melt some of that snow you got that we missed.
Bringing in my Larry King voice.
Well, smoke them if you got them.
I got them.
But this upcoming week, so as this show releases on Monday, this week is sounds like anyway, Tim Cook teased this a little bit too. Apple sent out the invite a few weeks back for a special experience. It's not an event, like it's not going to be something you can stream and actually watch, but it sounds like it's one of those situations where they've done in the last couple of years where they do press releases for new products over a series of a couple of days, and then they're going to have some in-person press, quote-unquote, experiences in New York, London, and Shanghai. That'll be on March 4th, which I guess will be the hands-on time for some people to look at that. So we're going to talk about that today to kick things off. We've got a handful of products, looks like, we're expecting. This is all, of course, rumors. Apple's not confirmed any of this because they never do. But, Mac Rumors, 9 to 5, Mac, Bloomberg, Mark Gurman, usual suspects.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at? What do we think's coming, Jeff?
A low-cost MacBook, Tom. There'd been some talk also of colors associated with this. I don't know whether or not that's going to be a thing or not. Could be, could not be. But a low-end MacBook. So, which it's not going to have an M series chip. So I don't know whether or not it's a place I would go. The MacBook Air, I think, is still the king of the hill as far as that goes. But probably something really nice for you guys at school, I would think. Might be something that you would play with. I don't know. So we shall see. Target price, which this is kind of bonkers for Apple. Somewhere between $600 and $700. So really, I don't think has Apple's never had anything in that price range other than, and we'll talk about this at the end of the show, just a teeny tiny bit, the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini was the only thing that ever kind of fell into that pricing slot. So pretty impressive if Apple does that. That really is a budget device aimed at the crowd that usually goes out and gets a PC that has to be replaced usually every year because they're so crappy. No.
Yeah.
Slings and daggers. Slings and daggers, Tom. Tom, slings and daggers, today's show. I'm doing that, by the way, because my voice is jacked up still.
That's okay. Lean into it. I'm
gonna
own it,
gonna
as
do
they
it,
say.
Tom.
Yeah, so this will be interesting. So, as you mentioned, no M series chip. Sounds like A18 Pro, which is what's in the iPhone 16 Pro.
Uh-huh.
So I think does support Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
And so with that price, obviously they're going to be cutting some corners, the chip being one of those to get the price down. Something I saw was one of the things that was speculated that it may not have is a backlit keyboard. I don't see that happening. It might, obviously don't know for sure, but that seems even too cheap for Apple, because I think that's what keyboard in 2026 does not. I can't think of any. Even that first generation Magic keyboard from 2020 had a backlit keyboard. So I don't know if I get into that or not. But it will be interesting. You mentioned maybe at school. I think for us, probably not. Just because it's going to be a little too low on the specs. We've got some edge cases where students are doing theater set design and stuff like that. And they push the MacBook Airs kind of to the limits too, in some ways, for some of the rendering and things that they do. So it's probably going to be maybe a little too low. But for that, K-12 that's just doing Chromebooks, big step up from that, perhaps.
Yeah, I think this is a huge jump up from that.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's with the Chromebooks, if you're a Google school, if you're using Workspace for education and the Chromebooks, they're so easy to deploy because student signs in with their Google account and all their stuff's there. It breaks in 6 months because it's a cheap Chromebook. Give them another one, they sign in, all their stuff is there. It's very simple. So we'll see. But they've had the older MacBook Air M1 that was the old design, the wedge shape.
Yes.
They've been selling that at Walmart for $5.99, I think it was. Oh. So I guess this would replace that. And maybe, we'll see. It's funny with Apple because they need these budget products, but every budget product they put out, they tend to end up canceling because nobody buys it.
Right.
I mean, not in great numbers. Like, this is not going to be the top-selling MacBook.
I don't.
And the phones, though, the same way, like the SE, the 16E, which took its place. They sell, and they sell in okay numbers, but that's not their sweet spot. But I think, it's a nice place for them to be, to give somebody that step into it. And I think if you just want to do email, browse the web, whatever with a Mac, this is an easy way to get in at what seems to be a nice price. We'll see this week when they announce it for sure. Speaking of the iPhone 16e, looks like an update to that probably.
Correct. Going to get a 17e perhaps.
All right.
So same basic idea. Starting price on that one going to be $600. And there's going to be a 19 chip in that particular phone. Looks like going to get dynamic island, going to replace the notch. I got to say, by the way, my phone has a dynamic island. I really kind of like it.
I do too.
It's right now Liverpool's playing. Beating the crap out of I think West Ham is who they're playing right now, but you can see the score right up there. It's like I don't have to do anything. It's really kind of nice. So that'll be a nice feature, and I think that then makes all of Apple's phone models have dynamic islands. Is that correct?
I feel like it is.
Yeah. So everything will have a dynamic island now. At which point, Apple on the high end model is going to do something different. I'm sure.
They'll go to the pinhole or the camera under the screen and something. Something that'll be in the fold this fall to separate it from everything else.
Into the fold, Tom.
Yes.
Which has some filthy connotations. Anyway.
I thought it. You said it.
I always, unfiltered.
Lean into it, Jeff.
I'm the dude. Right?
Maybe not too much today, though. Just
no. We'll lay off it a little bit. But, unfiltered cigarettes, unfiltered mind. Tom.
Do you need a lozenge?
No, I don't. I'm
okay.
Fine. I'm just being a
just check.
Yeah, no, I'm just being an idiot. This is nothing new. So 12 megapixel front camera, better wireless connectivity, which I think means Apple's new wireless chip.
I think so.
To be the case, right? So anyway, it's interesting stuff coming that way, right?
Right. So that would be good too.
Yeah, correct.
I love some MagSafe.
Yeah, MagSafe is amazing. Works really well. I'm happy. So those are the two things that are super likely to appear this week. We can almost guarantee that. What else is coming up is an iPad 12. Want to talk about that?
Yeah. So this is the base model, and the current one, which I guess we'll call the the iPad 11, for lack of something else. Although I think Apple refers to it actually if you look up the model, it's iPad A16, which is the chip.
Okay.
So it's the cheapest iPad you can get. And it's going to be getting a chip upgrade, which should bring Apple Intelligence into the mix for this low-end iPad, because as of right now, it still doesn't support it. Separate discussion on what you're missing out on if it doesn't, which is not a ton right now. But that should get it a memory upgrade up to 8 gig to support that. So a couple more gigabytes there. No design changes expected on that. Now, that's the one that we've been buying for students. Works fine. We don't have any complaints from anybody with it. I'm glad a couple years ago when they at least updated the design, I was happy to see that, because it still was kind of lagging behind everything. Had the home button on it, and it looked really dated. And I hated kind of giving those out, because this looks like it's from 8 years ago, even though it's brand new out of the box. And so that's nice that they changed that, but it should be about the same design and everything there, but good little upgrade. And then looks like the iPad Air should get a chip upgrade as well.
Which would be great.
M4.
Yeah, iPad Air is pretty nice. And I will say, when I was I think I said this maybe during the last show, or maybe I just texted it to you, I can't remember. But I'd like to see them do something to the iPad mini. I really think the current version of iPad OS has done pretty well on that mini. I know you dumped yours a while ago.
Yep.
But the size of that, I never realized quite how much I might like something like that just for portability purposes, just to be able to run around and use it. So I would be happy if in the very likely area that we got a little boost on that iPad mini as well. That would be a nice gift, although God only knows. What chip is in that now? I have to look.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. There's rumors that's getting an OLED upgrade this year, which would be sweet because that was one of my complaints with the one that I had, which is I did not have the current generation. It was the one before, and the display just wasn't very good. I didn't like it. Had that weird jelly scrolling effect.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Remember that? I complained to you about that a bunch. But an OLED upgrade would be nice for that. It doesn't sound like that's coming just yet. That's coming up later, but would be good. So the iPad Air right now has got the M2, and I believe, and the good robot over at Claude told me this is true, but it's still not a ProMotion display in the iPad Air. It's still the 60 hertz. Okay. So that would be nice too if they bump that up. Seriously doubt it's getting OLED, but it would be nice to get it faster. But they may be saving that for later too. But either way, that's still really good iPad, and fits nicely between the low end.
It really does.
And the Pro.
Correct. No, like it a lot. Really think it's great. And by the way, the chip in the mini is the A17 Pro.
Okay.
So, not bad.
Nope. But yeah, if that got an OLED display, that would be pretty sweet. Because I really like the one on the M5 iPad that I've got.
Yeah, you said that.
It's sweet. Yep. So talked about the phone, the low-cost MacBook, the iPad updates. How about MacBooks? Anything coming other than the budget MacBook, do you think? Or are we expecting?
Possible update to the MacBook Air to get an M5 chip.
Seems reasonable.
And the same thing with the MacBook Pro, M5 Pro, and Pro Max chips in those.
Right.
I think
there's a MacBook Pro with M5 already, but not the M5 Pro or Max. Correct.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
There's a 14-inch MacBook Pro that has the M5 chip.
Correct.
Right. But there's no M5 Pro or Max variants of those yet. Correct. So that's what we're thinking might be this week. Okay.
Correct. So we might see something like that. And then, we'll see. OLED. I've also seen, I don't know, Apple's been so against this for so long, but the idea that there might be a touch screen on one of these two. I've seen that floated.
Yeah, it sounds like that's end of the year, maybe later in the fall with M6. But,
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny. I do have, like, touchscreens do drive me a little crazy. Like, I use the iPad all the time. They do, because they get gushy fingerprints on them all the time, and it drives me bonkers. I use my iPad all the time. Combination of doing edits and when I say edits, like with the Apple Pencil, updating documents in that way, and then watching content. And I bounce between, that rock, paper, scissors, or whatever the heck it's called. Rock, paper, pencil. There we go. Rock, paper, scissors, Tom. Oh, that's a game we used to play when we were kids,
Smoking Camels on the corner.
Right. Yeah. No filters.
Of course not.
Yeah, that's why my voice sounds like it does. So the rock, paper, pencil. I love that for editing purposes. It does everything that I need, especially I will say post-stroke. Fortunately, I did not lose a lot of motor coordination, but the fact that the rock, paper, pencil is a little grainy, it really does feel like paper. It works in that way, and it's great. But to be able to watch something, peel that thing off, because it does mute the colors in a big way. So I don't know. Touchscreen Mac seems bonkers to me because I don't even like to get Like people come up and want to, when they're touching your screen. Have you ever seen that? Like, let me put my fingers right here.
I do that at work. Drives me nuts.
I want to slap people. Right. That's exactly. It's like, get your fingers off.
And it's so funny. Like, I don't mind, like, iPad.
No.
After a while, the fingerprints build up, and then I'll wipe it off. Yeah, but it's so funny. Like, I don't care about that. But, like, if you start somebody tries to touch laptop screen or display, and I'm like, no, we don't do that here.
Stop that.
Yeah, which is why, I don't know. I guess
old man
weird. But, yeah. So some other things that doesn't sound like we're going to see just yet, but are definitely coming, I would say. The Mac Studio should get an update, chip update. I have this on the Mac Studio on my list of something maybe as my upgrade candidate when I replace the Mac Mini on my desk.
Really?
Yeah, thinking about it.
Yeah. Tell me about that since we're standing here.
Well, because, all right, partly I just like how it looks, I'll be honest.
Okay.
But I like the additional ports is nice. It'd be nice to have those. And I'm kind of leaning into just packing it as full of storage as I can and bumping the RAM up 64 gigs, 128 or something. Just biting the bullet and then just running it for like 6 or 7 years. So because my Mac Mini serves as kind of like my hub for all of my iCloud content. And so everything kind of syncs there and then gets backed up over Time Machine, gets backed up to Backblaze. And so we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what sticker price looks like when that comes, because all of these component prices are going up. Don't know how much that's going to impact Apple, of course, but like just RAM prices and, SSD prices. Like my son upgraded his PC, gaming PC, a couple of weeks ago. And the local micro center down in North Virginia is running like a sale special type thing. If you buy the upgrade bundle, which had like the RAM and the CPU and everything in it, it was less than if you just bought the RAM. Yeah, because RAM prices are so outrageous, and storage, I guess, too, with the data centers, AI stuff buying up all the storage. So, right. Because remember, Crucial shut down their consumer sales and said, nope, we're just going to sell it to the direct companies doing the data center stuff. Yeah. Right. So that is, prices are wild right now for that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that plays out. So it doesn't look like Mac Studio Update is coming with this round of things, but maybe they'll sneak it in. I don't know. And then, of course, everyone's waiting for an update to the Apple Studio display that's been rumored to be coming for a while. Your pal, Mark Gurman, says it's ready to ship. 120 hertz ProMotion display. That would be pretty
boxes.
Nice.
In boxes, already ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah, that would be nice. Do I need one? No. I've got what I got.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
happy with what I have. Very happy with what I have.
Same here. And
other than having to clean the Nano display.
Right. You don't like that.
It's a pain in the ass.
I saw something the other day. Maybe there are two models. So like a higher end and then one that's not quite as high end. It's a little less money to pick up. I'm curious to see if they give a bigger option, like 27 and maybe a 32. Like they've got the 32. That's the Pro Display XDR. I think is what they call that. The $6,000 display, which I would, no, I don't need that.
You wouldn't do that?
Not that one, no. But a 32-inch studio display, which is probably still going to be really expensive relative. Wouldn't mind having a bigger display.
Yeah, okay.
And I wish somehow they'd figure out how to support two devices without having to unplug and swap out. So like, because only one port on that studio display now is for plugging into your Mac or your iPad or whatever it is.
Right.
And so if I want to plug in the iPad, I've got to just reach around and plug that other one out, drop the other one in, which isn't that bad. But I also have like an external hard drive plugged into the studio display because go back to that port situation. My Mac Mini's out of ports because it's an older one. It's the M1 from 2020. So it's still got like two USB-A, and I think it only has one or two USB-C. And so it'd be nice to have that in there too. But we'll see. But maybe some better speakers in that higher end model too, which the ones in the current model sound great, I think.
They're amazing. Yeah. I like pretty pretty super amazing. And I will say also, this is stepping back a little bit, but my daughter has a MacBook Air, one of the newer MacBook Airs, and it really interesting. She's working on a play. She's directing, running, doing everything for a play for the elementary school that she works at. And we were listening to the sound, and man, that thing sounds frigging amazing. I didn't realize how good that MacBook Air sounds. Like, I think it sounds better than my MacBook Pro does. So pretty impressive. So yeah, it would be interesting to see if they put new speakers in that. But the speakers in the one that they currently have in the current studio display,
very
phenomenal.
Good. Yeah, really good.
I've watched a movie on that, which is the size of the first television that I had when
right.
Which is crazy, right?
I watched most of the playoffs and the Super Bowl on mine. So.
Yeah. Pretty nuts. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. No updates supposedly coming for the Apple TV, the HomePod Mini. There has been the rumored new HomePod Hub. I haven't seen too much about that. So we'll see. You have a note in here. Those are being held back pending Siri improvements. Okay, great. So we're never getting them.
Never.
Right. Good.
Yep.
They're just announcements. So
right.
Yeah, anyway, we'll see about that.
All right. And so yeah, that we'll see how it goes this week. This is going to be 2 weeks after the fact. We might touch on it a little bit in a couple of weeks, if anything is like groundbreaking, but this sounds like mostly just little minor updates, and plus we'll be post 2 weeks after all that, so it kind of be old news by then. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get surprised. I doubt it. Yeah. Otherwise, they'd have a fancy event, not a special experience. See?
See what you did there, Tom.
By
the way, since we're talking Mac stuff, I think it's important. We'll just say this now. But today, the day we're recording this, the 28th of February, is actually the anniversary of the introduction of the original Mac Mini.
How about that?
Right?
Bring your own mouse and keyboard.
Bring your own mouse and keyboard.
That was the tag.
Party. It's exactly right, but it was aimed, I think, at that point in time, at a lot of PC people who had a display, had a tower. They had their tower, Tom, and then you plugged your stuff into that, and it just worked. So, so that is in 2006, 20 years ago. Dang,
jeez, Louise.
20 years ago today was the introduction of the Mac Mini. So anyway, just
and those things. And you know this too, because I know you did it a lot, were terrifying to upgrade the RAM inside of.
Oh,
because
dude,
you had to use that putty knife and take it apart, and every time you swore the tabs were breaking because it would give this god-awful cracking noise.
Right.
It was like, oof. I'm certain I broke it, but never did.
They were not, they were the toughest at that point in time. To take apart, teaching how to take those apart in Apple certification, in the ACMT classes was a bugger. I will say that as far as engineering feats, Mac Mini is still my favorite by far of any of Apple's computers. They're just like genius industrial design. Really, really amazing.
Yeah, especially now they're so compact and small, and the price is so good. And the performance for the price is really what stands out. So, yeah, really, really excellent. We've got a bunch of those we put around campus just running our digital signage stuff. Because you could buy an Android-powered specialty box that did signage, or you could use the Mac Mini. We use Zoom for digital signage. But the price was about the same. It was $400. And plus, we've got all the management infrastructure for Mac stuff already. So it was a pretty easy decision to make. So but they're really, really good. I mean, we've got, 100 plus in classrooms, and I think over the last 6 years we've maybe had one that's had a problem, and it was a USB port, probably got hit by power or something. The power went out, but they're fantastic. They just run and run and run and run.
Yeah, really, really good. All right, Tom, on to analog. So I've been talking for years about Field Notes. I love Field Notes. I have an addiction to Field Notes. Field Notes has a nice little subscription plan. And Tom, you have hopped on the gravy train, have you not?
I have. Yes. So one of the things I did, so we've talked about it, came up in our favorite things of 2025 show. Once again, with that one was with Joe Moyer, and he talked about some Ugmonk things, and that rolled into a little bit of a field notes discussion. And so for my oldest son this year, or last Christmas, I picked up a few sets of those for the birds and wildlife collection that they have.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, and so those came in, and I was looking at it, and I was like, man, those are really nice. I'd like maybe to have some of those. And so we've talked here before, like I do everything almost is digital for me. I like to work with the Apple Pencil, just thinking through problems, ideas, things like that. And I still do all of that. Where I was having some friction, though, is just for I just need to jot this down really quickly so I don't forget about it. Maybe I'm talking to somebody at work, or it's just an idea I've got here at the house. And I don't want to get into my phone because that leads to, let me go check Threads while I'm here, go look at some Instagram. Oh, I'm going to send this to Jeff. He's going to comment back. Let me send this to somebody else. And you know how it goes. Yeah. And so I thought, well, let me look at the field notes thing. And so I went over and I looked, and they, right on the homepage, they have their current, I guess, new series. You could probably speak better because I don't know all the lingo.
Yeah. So what they do is they have a subscription. With that subscription, they do very limited edition notebooks, and they're all special in some way. This particular one, the one that came out this year, is the 1943 edition. It's kind of cool. It comes with notebooks, actually, that you can either use vertically or horizontally, 2 different colors. And then kind of the really fun thing is they have a copy of Dashiell Hammett's The Maltese Falcon. Mm-hmm. That was pocket sized, like army size, that they needed to do. And really, really, really slick, really nice thing that they did. So, that's it. So they do special editions every single quarter. New quarterly coming out very soon. But you got the current one, which is that little special Dashiell Hammett version.
I did, and what kind of drew me to that were the colors. There's beautiful color. Yeah, there's a red, a yellow, blue, but they're just fun. The colors are, and so not only did I buy the set, I went a step further and did the subscription for the year, because I thought I'll only try it for a year and see. I fully do not intend to fill up these. I feel like I'm going to go down the Jeff Battersby path and just have all of these notebooks sitting around, little notepads, and start. Oh no, he's stepped out of frame. You guys can't see this, but let's see what he's got. But I think there were 6 in the set that I got. So there was 2 packs of 3, 1 color of each. And so, but pocket size, they're only 5.5 by 3.5. But as Jeff mentioned, they do have staples on the short edge. And so you can use these vertically or in landscape horizontal mode. So they're super flexible, which I liked that aspect of it too. And so they also threw in a handy 56-week planner. Now, I believe this was a bonus thing for being a new subscriber.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, and so I kind of like this. I'll show it to you here. Maybe you can see it. Nobody else can, of course, but it's like a heavy paperboard cover. Same on the back, but it's thick paper where the ink doesn't bleed through, and I like it because it's not pre-printed like January, February, March.
Right.
You just write in the month and where you're going to start and everything. And so I have used this a little bit, and sometimes where I don't put much in a particular day, I'll actually just go back and put the other date below the current date or whatever the last date was and use it again rather than just burn through all the paper. But that was a nice little thing. And so I found it, very helpful. To have these. I'm not a journaler per se. Of course, you could use these for that if you wanted to, jot down little things throughout the day. But for me, it's mostly just really quick little stuff. For example, things I need to do. Add a embedded podcast player to my website. add a pull quote to the podcast workflow. And then I was working on some financial stuff, and I had, different life insurance things we have. But it's just little things like that as I'm going through the day.
Yeah.
All of my really heavy duty stuff's still going to be digital, but so far I like it. I'm looking forward to the new set for this quarter to see what that looks like.
Which they just announced, by the way. They have not said what it is. They, it's funny, they kind of tease it a little bit, and they teased it with a little horseshoe this past week. So we'll see. We should be getting our notebooks in the mail, Tom.
Look at us. What dorks we are.
It really is great stuff, though.
It is.
One of the things, and I will say, I do have a collection that's absurd in size, but I use them. I use them all the time. I use them for a variety of things. Use them for theater stuff, as you do. I write stuff down, and when I write stuff down, very often, that is just their little moniker now is I'm not writing it now to remember it later. I'm writing it down to remember it now. And it really is a way of, ideas are ephemeral. They come and if you don't put them someplace, they end up disappearing. They head into the ether, and that's the end of the game. So it's a way of having a really quick note that you can put down. I often keep them in a pocket, like a true nerd should. So yeah, I'm excited for you, Tom.
Well, thanks, man. And you know what I think? When they came in and I was looking at them, they've kind of got like an old school feel to them too.
Yes.
Like when you open the cover, this Field Notes memo book is property of, and then there's a section pertinent coordinates and for internal records where you can put the date range and everything like that. And then they've got, these handy dandy little rulers on the sides of or the edges of the covers. And the notepad, the planner has a lot more. And this actually reminded me when I opened it, I was like, wow, this reminds me of stuff like, my dad and granddad had when I was a kid. It's got all these little conversion tables in it and stuff like that. So just kind of really cool. They're just not throwing together a blank notepad. Here's some paper to write some stuff on. These are thoughtful things, which you've said a ton of times before. Like, this is nothing new to you, of course, but it is something that I think you can appreciate. They think through and kind of make it fun and
they really do. There's usually a video that goes along with it about the design, but what they're based off of is, back in the day, farmers, when the seed salesman would come through, would have, for their seed company or fertilizer company or whatever it was, they had Field Notes notebooks that they would give to people as kind of a, remember burpee seeds or whatever it was that you were working with.
Explains why I thought of my great-grandfather with his wad of chewing tobacco and his little notepad.
Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of feeling, and it's delightful. They really are delightful. They're. I love it every time a new one arrives. I really do. So I'm always, and I'm thinking I am directing a play called Birds of North America in the fall. Reader's Theater production of that, and that the Birds Field Notes notebooks, plan on giving that to my cast and the stage manager.
Nice. That'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. Fits right into that. So it's something special too. There's something really special about them.
Yeah, and the prices are reasonable. There was 3-pack is like $15, so not bad. The subscription, I think it was $120. But that gets you a bunch throughout the year. So if you want to just start with the pack, see if you like
stuff,
them.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
Highly recommend.
So fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely fun stuff. All righty, next up, been playing with. I was a Dark Sky user for a long time. Apple bought Dark Sky. The Dark Sky guys went and worked for Apple for a little while. And now they're back out on their own. They have a new weather app called the Acme Weather app. It's not too expensive. I'm a Carrot guy presently, as I know are you, and I've been a Carrot guy for a while. Jumped on Carrot when after Apple bought Dark Sky because I wanted something. So Acme Weather app, kind of like what Dark Sky was, which is really hyper local. You had the ability to chime in if it was at your house. Raining cats and dogs, you had the ability to kind of provide that information. One of the new features of the Dark Sky app, which is really kind of cool, of the Dark Sky, look at me talking old school, the Acme app, is that it gives you kind of a range of options. My mother has always said, and she's not wrong, that little boys and girls who were liars when they were little grew up to be weather people. And, it's because the weather's, it's a guessing game. It's never right. It changes. So this has a forecast feature, and then in addition to a forecast feature, it has what it calls alternate predictions. So if you look at it, it's got a band of what the actual forecast is, but you could end up with something a little different. So it could be a little higher temp wise, could be a little lower temp wise. You've got the ability to look at that. So that's kind of a nice feature. It does have the ability for you or me to be able to go in and say what the current weather is in my current location. It's very strict about that. GPS is a little dodgy where I live. And so what has happened, it'll give me not the address where I live or where my mail goes to, but the address, that's right next to me sometimes, depending on where I am in the house. That's not always great. And other than that, it gives you the ability to be able to provide some information to the folks behind Acme or to the weather being broadcast behind Acme and provide something a little different. So 2 weeks for free, subscriptions $25 a year, which is less than I'm currently paying for Carrot. I'm paying king size version of Carrot, so something that I might want to consider in the future.
Checking to see what. Yeah, I paid $30 a year for Carrot. That's what I was looking forward to see. Think you'll switch, maybe?
Not sure yet. I do like Carrot a lot.
Me too.
Because Carrot's mean to me. And,
all right, then.
I like it.
Well, and it had a nice update this week, too. So it's version 6.4. When they've added the Weather Channel as a forecast provider, which would be nice to have that, too. And also added realistic weather effects, because historically it's been kind of the animated. Well, I mean, they're still animated, but it looks more like the art type stuff. And the new stuff looks more like what you would see in Apple's weather app. For that.
Which I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I am so used to Carrot. And what I like about Carrot is it's so customizable, like with the layout and everything. So it's really like you can almost build the app to look and show exactly what you want. With all the customizations and show this, don't show that. So, I did download and install the Acme app. And I think it looks nice. Like I like the layout. Like it looks very pleasant when I'm looking at it. It's nice and clean. Man, we've got some nice weather coming up into this weekend of the 70s. So that's good. I'll take it. So I did the trial. I canceled mine.
I did
because I just re-upped Carrot, so I don't need to spend $50 a year for weather apps or whatever it is.
Right.
But it does look nice, and I'm sure they'll continue to build it out and add some other things to it. So
and those guys, I like their way of thinking when it comes to how you're working with weather. It's really I don't know. It's pretty cool way of thinking. So I'm paying for $40.
Okay, you're top tier for Carrot. I think.
Correct.
Maybe there's one above that. I don't know. But
I don't know either. But mine renews on the 26th of July, so it might be worthwhile to screw around with with Acme and see what it does.
Yeah, I think mine just renewed a couple months ago, so still have a ways to go with it.
So,
all right,
Tom.
I think that's it. Is that
it? Yeah, we burned probably another 35, 40 minutes of your day, and we appreciate you coming along for the ride. It means a lot to us, and I'm happy to be here again. And should not be missing. Should not be missing episodes as I did, but like I said, last episode was very, very last minute, and we will post Aaliyah's, which is her name, Aaliyah's, the link to her GoFundMe. Devastating fire, truly devastating. They lost absolutely everything, and as I said, including 2 cats, which is just bad.
Yeah.
She's doing okay. Her partner's doing okay. He, from what I understand, came home and found he's a police officer in a town a little further north of me. And he came home to see the place engulfed and had to get her out. That's how crazy it was. Yeah. So anyway, we'll post the link to that GoFundMe, and please feel free to send a few dollars her way.
Yep.
All right.
Close us out.
The usual stuff. Tom has a new newsletter, tomfhenderson.com/newsletter. Highly recommend that you check that out. He's updated some of that recently. He's been showing me the updates to his website.
You were rolling your eyes this week. God, he's sending this again.
Yeah. I've seen your bio, Tom.
Thanks, buddy.
So anyway, well worth checking out Tom's newsletter. Theme music, as always, by Psychokinetics, Celsius 7. Very happy to have them along. We have show art, Randall Martin Design, and Randall does great work. We highly recommend that you check him out. And that's it. Subscribe, tell your friends. We continue to grow, and we're grateful for that. We had 91 downloads of the podcast today.
Hey, welcome new subscriber.
Yeah, whoever that was.
Appreciate auto downloads on. Good.
Yeah, download them all. Collect them all, just like
that's right.
Field Notes notebooks.
Right.
Anyway, that's it, Tom. I think we're finished here.
All right, sounds good. And as he said, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And until next time.
See ya.